Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament podcast, your one stop destination for all your football debates, discussions, and opinions. We all played FIFA in our early lives and in our childhood, we all played FIFA. And one thing we all did was sign all the best players in this world. But one man in football is playing that in reality. I have with me Anshuraj and Manish to discuss about the team that man owns and the game that he is playing. Manish.
Yeah. So PSG, we're talking about Nasser Al Khelaify, obviously. Uh, so that guy, he's bought literally everyone. He's bought Ramos, he's bought Messi, he's bought Hakimi, he's bought Donnarumma. PSG have good squad depth, but then they're PSG after all, and their manager Pochettino. So there's that joke. You can take the man out of Spurs, but you can't take Spurs out of the man.
Definitely. Anshuraj, do you by any way feel that this is falling in FFP rules?
See, PSG are not going to be charged by UEFA for breaking FPP rules or anything of that sort because PSG, they have this very shady trick that their sponsors in Qatar, they send like invaluable amounts of money to them. So it appears that their income is way more inflated than what their actual income is. So that is why they're able to get away and get around this FPP rule. So
And
FFP rule, sorry. FPP is
so,
our podcast.
in any case, if someone is living under the rock or does not know about this thing, the two men on behind me and Anshuraj have been joined by the likes of Messi, one of the best players in the world, the ex Real Madrid captain Ramos, one of the highest rated defenders, I'll say, in Hakimi, the most highly potential goalkeepers in Donnarumma. Am I missing someone? Yes. They also
Wijnaldum.
snatched Wijnaldum from the brisk of
Barcelona.
going to Barcelona. So this is what has happened. Do you see this team? Like we all know this team has been built, but my one question whenever I see such kind of a team is, can this team really gel up? When you see a talk about players, can this team really gel up with the individual qualities they have? You have to play as a team to win any cup.
Yeah. So what I think is that they'll win their domestic league, they'll win their domestic
A
cup,
very difficult
but
league,
they'll,
I'll say.
yeah, very, very,
One of
of
the
course.
hardest in the world.
Yeah.
Uh, gonna be a big achievement if Messi carries them to the first place. So in UCL, I don't think they'll succeed anyhow because see, Pochettino has that system of a pressing system, and when you have players like Neymar, Messi, and even Mbappe staying now, because I've totally lost hope on Mbappe coming to Madrid now. So that guy is staying over there. And then I don't think those people will press as much as Di Maria does. So obviously, one player cannot make up for the lack of press of three players, right? So it'll be more easier for the opponent to come into the midfield and make things happen from there. And even then, I don't think they'll. I guess they'll get exposed on playing the high line. The people will use their paces. They'll play a counter-attacking system against them, and they'll just dominate through the pace. And that's what I think. I don't think they are getting anywhere in Europe now. They can they might reach the final. A miracle might happen, but I can't see them winning. It's
No,
definitely not. They're not definitely not winning.
Manish, you gave the tactical aspect. Anshuraj, I'll ask you the emotional aspect or the aspect outside the football field. Do you see a player like Mbappe who just fought with the families of the players fought in the France squad with each other? Mbappe, will he be now able to, or will he accept a role as a second fidget to Messi or as a third fidget to Neymar if he really steps up? Because Messi Neymar partnership is, we all know how good it was during those days. So do you see
Yeah.
Mbappe really coping up with this team?
See, if they can deliver success on the pitch, I don't think Mbappe will have a problem playing second or third fiddle to Messi or Neymar. But the problem here is whether they will be able to deliver the success on the pitch, because that in fact that is the main problem. So if say PSG don't win the UCL this season, we might see Mbappe leave next year, and he might not sign the contract which is laid on the table by Khalifi. So you might see Mbappe leaving. There might be, like fractures in that team as a whole. So we might see and Pochettino is, I don't think he has the ability to handle these like big egos. So you might see the whole team just falling apart if the success doesn't come. So that is a big problem which PSG have at their hands.
Definitely, when you talk about team, you have to talk about the manager. Can you see Pochettino finally winning a trophy? Is the Spurs team out of him?
No, I think he has won a trophy, but he's not won a
But the
major trophy yet.
major trophy, as in a UCL
Yeah,
or
major trophy.
no Hero Honda Cups and stuff, I do not even know.
Well, he might be able to win the Uber Eats League. You know, the very aptly named Uber Eats League, and he might be able to win that. But European success, see, it really depends on how the front three deliver at the biggest stage, because tactically we might not see these three gel very well or sort of like that. It'll be mainly dependent on that individual brilliance of these three, like what MSN had. Like mainly back then, also Barcelona were very heavily dependent on these three for the goals and just in general creativity. So PSG might be reliant on that. But yeah, I think we'll have to see what Pochettino comes up with.
So talking about Pochettino, what will be the ideal lineups be? So we have some templates made by Anshuraj about the lineups. Manish, can you just explain which lineup suits the best and how do you see each lineup?
See, the 4-3-3, I don't think it'll work that well, but then
Not talking about
there is
three four
Hakim.
three we see right now.
Hmm.
Do you actually
Okay.
see we are going for a back three or a back four?
I guess they should go for a back four
With
because
Kimpembe, Marquinhos, and Ramos.
no. So the Ramos and Marquinhos, Ramos and Kimpembe at centre backs, and at the holding midfielder spot, Marquinhos can fill in because Tuchel will transform him into a defensive midfielder, sort of
Anshuraj,
defensive
so
midfielder.
you went with this lineup. Can you explain the reasons behind going with the lineup?
The 4-3-3 or
Yeah,
the
this 4-3-3 lineup.
4-3-3. The 4-3-3 because, well, it accommodates the front three, as we all know, and plus I think the midfield has a sort of a little bit of pressing capacity in it as well. Verratti, Wijnaldum are good pressers, fairly decent pressers, so you might see them being able to press pretty well. Which, uh, but then again, I just chose this lineup because PSG usually under Pochettino tend to line up in the 4-3-3 most of the time. So, but this is pretty likely because I think Pochettino will switch his guns and switch his weapons, and he might even go
No,
to a 4-2-3-1.
no, talking about the
Uh,
previous
हाँ
lineup.
नहीं मौसम थोड़ी देर
Just
आ
the
रुकना
previous lineup you open.
हाँ
Here, if you go on seeing the right hand side of this pitch, do you see any threat as a defensive to the attacking team? Messi, we all know, won't press higher. Hakimi is not the best of the defenders when you talk about in a back four. So can you see, like, if I am the opposing manager, won't I be experimenting on planning all my attacks on my left so that I can attack the right of PSG?
but Messi will probably drift inside and occupy these kind of spaces here in like the center of the pitch, and Hakimi is probably gonna move up the pitch and he's gonna play
Dani
this.
Alves Dani Alves
Yeah,
Messi
like he's
type
gonna bomb up and down the pitch.
So who
So he's
will
not gonna
cover
stay
for him?
back. Cover. I think in offense, what we'll probably see is like a very lopsided formation. Like Banat is going to push up, Hakimi is going to push up. You'll have Verratti and Wijnaldum is covered here, and then you'll have these three sort of sitting. So in place of Marquinhos, you might even have Kimpembe, uh, and Marquinhos could be the defensive midfielder as well. So we'll have these three mainly, and I think these three have decent enough pace to cover for like these big gaps you can see here between Wijnaldum and Ramos and Hakimi and Ramos. I think these three might be able to cover those gaps up. But still, these gaps are an issue for PSG, and one mistake by either three of them might lead to a straight run at goal for the opposing attacker. So if Pochettino wants to play a bit more conservative, he might ask Wijnaldum to drop a little bit deeper and sort of make this almost like a pretty much a four. Yeah, like a 4 and 6.
Yeah.
So we might see that as well.
And what can happen
Yeah.
if he goes for Di Maria? In the next lineup, I think you
Di
have gone with Di
Maria,
Maria.
yeah, a 4-2-3-1 with Di Maria and involved in it with one less midfielder. So I think this might be used when PSG play teams like Manchester City who like to hold on to the ball a lot, because then you might want to see your forwards in Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, Di Maria. They want to stay up the pitch rather than being involved in the defense. So you can play a counter-attacking style and exploit holes in the possession sides, uh, like defense. So in defense, you might see like again it'll probably come back to a midfield three here, because these three are not going to defend at all. Di Maria is a solid. He can track back. Get. He can play in that midfield fairly well. So you might see this. You in defense, you probably might like a 4-3-3 in defense, and during the offense, we might see Di Maria pushing up on this right, keeping the width because he generally keeps that width. But then the problem arises with Hakimi, because then Hakimi also wants to get up here in these areas. He doesn't want to stay back. He wants to get onto the offensive areas here. So then
Make
we
the most
might
out of his
see,
offensive qualities.
yeah, he's pretty good offensively. So Hakimi wouldn't want to stay here or here. He wants to be here. So then Di Maria might have to shift inside, which will push the whole team much narrow than
And
what
that is
you'd
not
expect it
Di
to.
Maria's natural game as well.
Yeah. Di Maria likes to be out wide and he wants to play those low through passes or gives in crosses like that. That's how Di Maria wants to play.
And one
On
thing
the
like
left,
we did not talk about is the goalkeeper position. Manish, this team has two best, it's like one of the best keepers in the world right now. Do you see Donnarumma displacing Keylor Navas as of now?
See, both what I think is both Donnarumma and Navas are not those keepers like Neuer or Ter Stegen who are really good with the ball at the feet. So they're both shot-stopping goalkeepers, and I think because Navas has more experience compared to Donnarumma in UCL and overall career as well, so I think Navas would be the first choice goalkeeper. But in case of an exception, like suppose if Navas has some problem or he's not in form or he has injuries, so then he might be replaced by Donnarumma, and then he might actually lose that starting goalkeeper spot from there, and then it might go downhill. It all might go downhill for his career. So yeah,
So if there is no injury, that is a very rare case for a goalkeeper. You think that Donnarumma came to PSG just to be benched,
I
the
guess
most
it
highly
is a.
rated
I
keeper.
guess at the moment, yeah, he is one of the best goalkeepers. But then, what I think is Donnarumma. See, he's a really good keeper, but then again, experience comes over here. Because if you want to win a UCL, so obviously you need some sort of experience, be it defenders, be it midfielders, be it the attackers. So Donnarumma in UCL, I don't know how experienced he is, but Navas is pretty much experienced. He was one of the most key players in our three-peat squad. So I think Navas would start over Donnarumma given his experience and all that. But then I said again, there might be a rare case where drop of form might lead to Donnarumma becoming the first choice goalkeeper. And I guess
I
Donnarumma is
think
one for
what
the
might
future
happen
because
is
Navas
that,
is I guess 32 or something. So I guess no, Donnarumma is one for the future.
yeah, I think Navas might start in the Champions League and Donnarumma might play the league games. That could be a case as well, because Donnarumma wants that game time, and
But
I don't
see,
think
for
he'll be.
me, that actually does not go well because when you are a keeper playing for the a team that is termed as the favorites for the Champions League, you need minutes under your belt, and especially as a keeper, you cannot directly go into a Champions League game without playing enough games in the league, because that is the role where second keeper comes in when you are injured. You never see a second goalkeeper just coming in to fill in the boots when the player is tired or you had game 3 days back. That does not really happen for a goalkeeper. That might
Yeah, but
again bring in
I
problems
think
with.
PSG might have to do it, because they've got two world class keepers. They need to keep them happy. Otherwise, again,
You know,
the squad
ego
is
clashes.
Yeah,
yeah, ego
exactly.
clashes again. The ego clashes might drift up again. So it's
Definitely.
again another.
The ego clashes point. See, I
Yeah,
wanted to
let's move to the next segment. Anshula, can you let's put the screen off and we can move on. Yes, Manish. You were talking about the ego clashes.
yeah, but I was saying that see, like players like Mbappe, one of the many reports said that he wanted to be the center of the project at Madrid, because that's the main reason he was coming to Madrid. And obviously, when you have a player like Messi, who's one of the best and an all-time great, you obviously cannot be a center of the project. The whole team would be, I guess, it will function as per Messi, like it used to be in Barcelona for quite an amount of time. So that's why and see, I know Pochettino is a good man manager, but then I don't think you can manage a locker room of Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Hakimi, Di Maria, and Donnarumma, Keylor Navas, and there are too many egos. You'll just end up losing the locker room.
Ramos.
That's what I think. Ramos. Yeah, Ramos.
And how it will be like shocking, like seeing the Barca captain, the Madrid captain playing in the same team, and none of them having the captain's band. It will be a Marquinhos. So will he be the actual leader in the team?
See,
No, I don't
on
think so.
on paper, Marquinhos might be the leader, but in game we all know how good of a leader Sergio Ramos is. How he motivates the teammates and he always tells them to not give up until the last moment. So I guess in game we'll see it more of Ramos being the leader, but on paper, like for the lineups when they give it, it'll be Marquinhos mostly. But there is a chance that Pochettino can go in and make Ramos the captain.
But that will be
There
unfair
is a
on Messi.
Yeah, that will be unfair. But again, Ramos is a much better leader than Messi. No discrediting Messi, but we all know how good of a leader Ramos is. Probably one of the best leader of this generation.
And this segment we generally talk about transfers, in that many any other transfer might come in or not, or any transfer out might come in or not. Anshuraj, do you see any more FFP rules being broken here?
Well, I don't know. You see, PSG, the only target left for them, I think, is Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, if Mbappe leaves, I
No,
think
no, they
he's
want
eyed up
Pogba,
as
they
the
want Kante.
no.
Ante.
Kante is not coming to PSG.
Pogba,
Pogba might move, but I think Pogba's resurgence in form recently, I think, might convince him to stay at Old Trafford. But that form must continue for some time because knowing Pogba, he always shows his quality in flashes, but is unable to sustain that. Plus, I think Pogba, if Manchester United don't win trophies again this season, I think Pogba might push for a move. So you might see him in that PSG midfield next season.
I think Manish has made it very clear about his predictions for the Champions League. Anshuraj, do you see that? How do you rate this team? Like, where do you place this team in the Champions League rankings right now? At the
Well,
top four?
they surely are one of the favorites alongside Chelsea, City, Bayern. But we've not really seen this team play together yet. Messi and Neymar have not yet registered a competitive appearance yet for PSG this season. So I don't know how they look, how they will play, etc. But at least on paper, definitely one of the favorites, if not the favorites, to win the Champions League. But we'll have to see tactically. If Pochettino gets his cards right, then we might see the the Parisians win their first Champions League.
Because this question becomes more important considering the fact is if it is this year or it will never come again. Because Mbappe is leaving for Madrid, that is for sure. The next season he will leave, if not this season. That is still a
Yeah.
possibility. So if not this year, it will never be. Because Messi will be aging, then you will have to consider a Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi. I do not know what the fuck is that happening. I really don't know about that thing. But definitely you have to consider it is this year or never for PSG.
Yes. Never. But I'll go for a bold prediction in the Champions League. I think they'll get knocked out by a team you won't expect them to. That's
I,
what I think.
yeah,
Because see, you have Messi in your team, it will be functioned all according to him. See, I'm not saying Messi is a bad influence on any of the players, but when you have Messi in your team, you cannot see the most out of other players. Like we saw recently in Barca matches how Griezmann was he was not good in the Athletic Bilbao game, but in the previous game he was good. So that's what I think, that Messi might overshadow other players, and then it'll be all set up for Messi. So yeah, and they might end up suffering due to that.
and that is not just a bold prediction. I'll say many people are still predicting that. If 80% are going that, 20% people still think that it might be a very shocking loss for them.
Yeah, of course, definitely. I hope they do.
So with this,
Football
I
is
think,
all about this game.
do you have something, Anshuraj?
See, football is a game of unpredictability. You never know what will
हाँ, मैं
happen.
5 मिनट आ रहा हूँ.
And so, yeah.
So with this, I think we should end the video. If you guys have been watching till here, please do like and do comment what do you think will happen to this PSG team. Till then, thank you.